your shoes off, show you how to dance. Out in the grass with ants in your pants. Shake your blues off, put your smile on. You bring the beautiful, I bring the song, yeah!
Hey guys, it's Arin. I'm here with Steve Moakler.
Good to be here.
So, well, why don't you just start out with like how you got into music and made this a career path for yourself?
I started writing songs when I was 14 years old, and I got a guitar from my grandma's boyfriend at the time, who was a limousine driver. And he heard I wanted to play, and one day dropped off his guitar, and I just started to write songs immediately. Even really before I learned how to play guitar, I kind of learned by writing songs. So from then on, it was just being in bands in middle school and high school, and then ended up making a little solo CD in my mom's friend's basement before I went to college, and that just kind of caught the ears of a couple industry people and kind of made me say, hey, maybe I should take a look at this, I mean, I always wanted to do music for a living, but I was like, maybe I, have a shot at this. So I was just with a little courage I got from that, I decided to move to Nashville and went to Belmont University for a couple years, and then I dropped out of school and just started touring and making records. So kind of as soon as I learned how to play, I was immediately writing songs and performing. So
Okay, cool.
just kind of grew.
Nashville is obviously a huge melting pot for all types of music,
Yeah.
not just like country and that whole genre. But
Yeah.
so, what's it like living there and having all those influences and then people to create music with?
That's a good question. Nashville's definitely influenced me a lot, and the biggest influence of the city to me is just songwriting, the craft of songwriting. It's just so it's incredibly valued there, and there is a craft to writing a popular song, can be country, folk, or rock. There's kind of a formula, and that initially scared me a lot, but that it has actually, I think, made me a much better songwriter, I would say. But you do have to watch yourself and just make sure you're not watering down your own, voice and your own sound. So that has been a line I've needed to walk, but I've mostly just been encouraged and inspired by how great the songwriters are. So it's a really fun community to be a part of.
Okay, cool. And do you have like a favorite song that you've written?
I don't think I have a favorite song I've written. It's just too hard to say. No, I don't.
Are there any like other songwriters that you really want to work with?
Well, who would I like to work with? That's a great question. There's a songwriter in Nashville. His name's Tom Douglas, and I haven't. Maybe by the time next time I see this video, I'll have written with him. I'm not sure, but I think he's awesome and would love to write with him. He writes a lot more like country music, and it just has a lot to say.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then how would you describe your sound if you had to like put words to it?
That's always been hard. I think it's what separates my music, if anything, from is just, I think, the lyrical focus. It's very, very lyrical driven pop music with country on the edges, I would say.
Okay,
So,
cool. And then when it comes to like a live show, like what can people expect to see? Because I know when it's just like one person up on stage with a guitar or something like that, like some people might assume it to be the same for anyone they see. Like it's like, oh, well, if it's just them like that, then why do I need to go see the show? But what kind of makes your live show special?
I think what makes a live show special for just a songwriter and his guitar is you get to experience a person, and it's when I would say maybe the opposite. When there's a band, it all kind of sounds like just a band. You could say the same thing. But whenever you have a guy and his guitar, there's really nothing to hide behind. So I really try to not hide behind anything, and just kind of share my heart and my music and who I am, and I think what makes it special is just a lot more opportunity to interact with the crowd and kind of set the pace and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. And not necessarily favorite, but is there like a specific moment when you're playing live that you look forward to each time?
Yeah, usually the moment sneaks up on me. Usually it's maybe a moment I didn't expect, and just kind of connect with the song, in a strong way. Sometimes it just catches me off guard, and I really can kind of be inside of a song. But it's safe to say that This Ain't Rock and Roll, which is a song on my last record, has been one of the most fun songs to play live. For some reason, it just always is a big connection point with the audience, and everybody identifies it with it on some angle, whether it's someone from the north or someone from the south. I love country, I hate country. It's just kind of it feels unique. It feels like a unique song that seems to connect really well, and I feel more known after I play it, so that's fun.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then one of the other things, like I've noticed, there's a lot of opportunities for charities and giving back and stuff in Nashville and across the country too. But are there any like nonprofits or causes or things that you're involved with?
Yes. We have something called Free the Birds. My manager and I started about 1.5 years ago, which has been a really exciting thing that we've chosen to do, and it's just added a lot of meaning to my work. And I build birdhouses, and we kind of see the birdhouse as a symbol for freedom for girls who have been trafficked, girls who have been caught in the human sex trade, which is something that we just find horrific and heartbreaking. So we decided to just raise money, and so whenever I travel and play, we have the birdhouse out, and we ask people to, give if they feel that burden, and we have T-shirts. All the proceeds go towards that work, and we give all the money to this organization called Love 146 that has a safe home in the Philippines where rescued girls are brought in and just kind of rehabilitized in a beautiful way. Just nutrition, therapy, and mostly just like a loving community. So we believe in it a lot and have seen some beautiful stories come out of it.
Very cool. And just like with stories and stuff, like has there been a moment after a show or even just like after your set where a fan has come up to you and just like not asked for a picture, an autograph or anything like that, just came up and said, like this music inspired me this way or this changed my life this way?
Yeah, and that is the coolest. That's the coolest thing that maybe the coolest part of my job is to have those interactions and just to say, hey, this is awesome that this means so much to somebody and encourages them and gives them hope in some way, because it just feels like what I love to do, and that has happened. That happens from time to time, and there's not a specific instance I can recall right now, but I do feel really fortunate to say that that's happened quite a few times, and that
cool.
keeps me going.
And then with like social media and everything, because that's obviously a huge part for any artist and connecting with fans and keeping people updated, like are there any special things that you do on Facebook or Twitter, things like that?
To be honest with you, I've actually kind of removed myself a little bit from that stuff, and just we kind of started to see it as just something that is, the bare essentials of letting people know, when we're going to be somewhere. But I just kind of, I don't know, I've kind of, at least for a little while, just removed myself from that whole thing. Just kind of helps me be present. Yeah. Wherever I am and with people I'm with, and I think that also translates on stage too. When you buy a ticket and come to a show, I'll be present there too. But it's to me it seems kind of unnecessary and for artists to be present all the time. For any person really present all the time. But that is definitely not maybe a popular viewpoint. But I really do appreciate my fans. I just
you'd rather
kind of value
make
my
the
life and
face-to-face interaction rather than something over.
And the thing is, my friends would say the same thing about me. I don't really text very much. I don't they just don't even text me anymore because they know I don't hit them back. But when they're hanging out with me, you know, I hope they feel like I'm there, you know, because I'm not on my phone or, you know, Twitter or anything like so. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how to walk that line and hang in popular culture with that.
Okay, cool.
But, yeah.
And then I guess, like, what's kind of the plan, because this year's almost over, so the plan for next year?
Yeah. Well, next year I'm going to be making a record, probably soon in the new year, maybe late winter or spring, and we plan on releasing it in the fall. So I have my songs. I've been writing my tail off and feel really good about a batch of songs. I'm really excited about the songs. But I'm still in the process of figuring out, you know, who's going to produce it and getting the funding for it, stuff like that. But I believe it's all going to come together soon.
Okay, cool.
So.
And then, I guess, like, lastly, like, with touring and stuff, like, do you have any more dates planned for this year? Kind of what's the current situation on touring?
This year, this is the end of this year. This year's touring for the most part this weekend, this last run with Matt Wertz here in the Northeast, and I have some one-offs kind of between now and Christmas, just single shows here and there, and I don't know what the spring's gonna look like yet. I know we'll be recording, but I'm not sure, so there won't be a big tour. Maybe you know, some opening stuff, maybe, but we are planning on doing a full-on headlining shows in the fall.
Okay.
So, which is next year. We're already talking about a year from now.